Assalamu alaikum everyone. Hello, I am back. I was unwell yesterday, so I couldn't join you live. Unfortunately, I'm back now. Not feeling great, but still I'm here. We started working on paper 2 of November 2023, so we will carry on with that. Here is question 2. Off you go. And if you need more time, press pause. When you're ready, press play. Question 2. Karen is organizing a party for a charity. She spends £100 on food, £120 on a hall, £80 on a DJ. Karen sells 54 tickets for the party. Each ticket costs £7.50. Work out the percentage profit Karen makes for the charity. So there are a number of ways we can do this. I'm going to choose step 1. I'm going to find out how much money she makes in terms of what she sells. So step 1 is total sales. Step 2 is I'm going to work out how much she spends. Total costs. And then step 3 is I will work out the percentage profit. Percentage profit. So let's go through this. She spends £100 on food, 120 on a hall, and £80 on a DJ. Karen sells 54 tickets at a cost of £7.50. So step 1, she's getting 54 times by £7.50. So 54 times by 7.5. Get our calculator out. 54 times by 7.5 gives us 405. Next thing is, what are her total costs? So we've got £100 on food, 120 on a hall, £80 on a DJ. Add them all together. Costs us £300. And so now percentage profit. So what's her profit? 405 take away 300 gives us 105. We want it to be percentage. So it's 105 out of 300. Put that into our calculator. Equals 35, 0.35 rather. And so times it by 100 gives us 35%. So that is our answer, 35%. And that question is worth 4 marks. And where we left off last time is we had banked 5, 10 marks. So we add another 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've got 5, 10, 15, 16, 17 marks we've banked. So we've reached our grade 4. Let's carry on. Question 3 we haven't answered. That's worth 2 marks. So let's have a go at question 3. have a go at this question. Off you go. If you need more time, press pause. Question 3. Andrew invests £4,500 in a savings account for 2 years. The account pays compound interest at a rate of 3.4% per year. Calculate how much Andrew has in his savings account at the end of 2 years. What's the key information? We have £4,500 in a savings account for 2 years. The account pays compound interest at a rate of 3.4% per year. Calculate how much Andrew has at the end of 2 years. So step 1, what topic is this? This topic is compound interest. So step 1 is I am going to remember my formula. Remember formula. And how do we do that? If you think about it, it's our initial amount multiplied by our percentage raised to the power years or time, and that gives us our final amount. So remember the formula, and then step 2 is I substitute. So we've got Andrew invests 4,500 in a savings account for 2 years. So our time will be 2. A rate of 3.4%. So 100% plus 3.4 gives us 103.4%. As a multiplier, that's 1.034. So I've got my percentage now, or multiplier 1.034, and I raise it to the power 2 years, and that will give me my final amount. And I haven't done this before as much, but I can also put the percentage in 103.4% squared. Okay, I'll use both methods. So 4500 times by 103.4, and the percent button is here on top of the open bracket. So I press shift, open bracket, then I square that. That gives me 4811.202. If I use the other method as well, 4,500 times 1.034 squared gives me the same answer. Okay, so if you're not sure about that. Now, pounds and pennies has 2 decimal places. Calculate how much Andrew has in his savings account at the end of 2 years. So our final answer is 4811.20. That is our final answer. All right, so that's another 2 marks banked. Let's put that in our on our tally. 1, 2 marks, 5, 10, 15, 19 marks. We've got quite a way to get to that grade 5. Question 4 we've done previously. Question 5 now. Question 5 is worth a good 4 marks. So let's look at question 5. If you go. Okay, if you need more time, press pause. Let's get cracking with question 5. Chris, Debbie, and Errol share some money in the ratio 3 to 4 to 2. Debbie gets £120. Chris then gives some of his share to Debbie and some of his share to Errol. The money that Chris, Debbie, and Errol each have is now in the ratio 2 to 5 to 3. How much did Chris give to Errol? So again, it's a problem-solving question, and it's to do with ratio, so we can work this out in a number of ways. I'm going to use my box method. So step 1 is put the information as a box. So ratio as boxes. Step 2 is to then work out the amounts. Work out each ratio amount. Once we've done that, then there's another. Chris then gives his share to Debbie, and then so we have a second ratio. So step 3 is a new ratio, and then step 4 is the new ratio amounts, new amounts. And then step 5, the question is, how much money did Chris give to Errol? Chris to Errol. Okay, so we've got Chris, Debbie, Errol, CDE. CDE is 3 to 4 to 2. 3 boxes, 4 boxes, and then 2 boxes. Debbie gets 120. So which one is Debbie? Debbie is the middle one. So you can see this is 120. So it's 120 divided by 4. 12 divided by 4, 4, 8, 12 is 30. 12 divided by 4 is 3, add the 0. So each of these boxes are 30. So how many boxes do we have here altogether? We've got 3, 7, 8, 9. So we can do 9 times by 30 to see how much money we have altogether. 9 times 3 is 27, add the 0. It's a calculator paper, so use your calculator if you want to do that. Chris then gives some of his share to Debbie and some of his share to Errol. So Chris's amount goes down. So let's look at how much each person gets here, by the way. So this is Chris's 3 times 30 is 90. That is 120. 4 times 30, and then E is 2 lots of 30. So that's 60. So now the new ratio CDE equals to 2 to 5 to 3. So 2 boxes here, 5 boxes here, and then 3 boxes here. So what is linking them? There isn't really anything linking them from the information, but from our working out, we can see, because we've got 9 shares of 30, 270 is linking them. So we've got how many parts here? We got 2 plus 5 plus 3. That gives me 10 parts. So I'm going to do the total amount, 270 divided by 10. That gives me 27. So each box now is worth 27. Okay, and so now, how much money did Chris give to Errol? Errol is going to be 27 plus 27 plus 27, or 27 times 3 gives us 81. So Errol goes from 60 to 81. So this is going to be 81, take away 60 gives us £21. And that is my final answer. Okay, so that's worth quite a lot of work there, and that's worth 4 marks. So let's add that to our tally. One, 2, 3, 4. 5, 10, 15, 23. We're now 4 marks away from a grade 5. Let's keep cracking. We've answered question 6 previously. Let's go to question 7. And question 7 is worth another cracking 4 marks. So that's worth quite a good chunk of marks. Off you go. If you need more time, press pause. When you're ready, press play. Question 7, the diagram shows an empty tank in the shape of a cylinder. So we've got this, and you can see there's 15 here that represents the radius, and 43 is the height. The cylinder has a radius of 15 and a height of 43, so that matches the information. Water flows into the tank at a rate of 0.47 liters per minute. Calculate the number of minutes it will take to completely fill the tank. Give your answer correct to the nearest minute. So there's quite a lot going on in this question. So the first thing is I can think about is step 1 will be my volume of this cylinder. So step 1 is volume of cylinder. The next thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be thinking about my conversion between liters and centimeter. So step 2. Convert centimeter cubed and milliliters. And then once I've got that, calculate the number of minutes it will take. So then I need to look at the time. So those are my steps. So first of all, volume of a cylinder. We've got area of a circle, which is pi r squared, then multiply by the height. So our volume becomes pi times radius is 15 squared times by my height, which is 43. Put that into our calculator. Pi, it's there at the bottom, times 15 squared times 43 gives me 9675 pi. I'm not going to change it yet. I'm going to keep it as it is. The next thing is converting centimeter cubed and milliliters. Water flows into the tank at a rate of 0.47 liters per minute. So if I think about centimeter cubed, there needs to be a link with milliliters. So 0. What is the link here? If you imagine a bottle, think about a bottle, how many liters do you get? A medium-sized bottle is usually 1 liter, and a small-sized bottle is 500 milliliters. So it kind of gives you an idea that 1,000 milliliters make a liter. So this is where you can convert between milliliters and centiliters. So you've got 0.47 liters. What am I doing here? 1 liter equals 1,000 milliliters. So this would be 470. I've messed it up now. So this is 470. So using this conversion, I've got centimeter cubed would be 470. So this is what I need to divide by. So I've got 9675 pi divided by 470. So that gives me water flows into the tank at a rate of 0.47. So I just need to divide this by 470. And that gives me 64.670 ... If I read the question, it says, calculate the number of minutes it will take to completely fill the tank. Give your answer correct to the nearest minute. So this needs to be rounded. So this gives me 6 rounds up. So this becomes 65 minutes. Okay, so I've done my step 1, volume of the cylinder. Step 2, I've done my conversion, centimeter cubed and milliliters, which is what I've got here. And then I've got my time, because every minute you were losing 0.47 liters, which is 470 milliliters with that conversion. So I'm dividing them, and this is where I get 64.67, so which is equal to 65 minutes. Okay, so hope that is quite clear. Let's go to the next one. This one is worth 4 marks. So this one was slightly new with the rates and conversions. So there's lots of conversions going on there. Let's add that to our tally of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 marks. So we've banked 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 26, 27. We've just touched on our grade 5. Okay, and we are now going into really tough questions, so to speak. Right, if you are joining the channel for the first time, remember to subscribe. Let's go on to, we've done question 8 previously, and question 9 has come up on paper 1, so we are going to skip that. Let's go to question 10. Okay, I need to move the camera a little, zoom out. Question 10, off you go. If you need more time, press pause. Question 10A. Shakir has to complete 2 tests. He can either pass or fail each test. The probability that he will pass the first test is 0.87. If he passes the first test, the probability he will pass the second test is 0.94. If he fails the first test, the probability he will pass the second test is 0.73. Complete the probability tree diagram for this information. So the first thing I need to remember is probabilities add up to 1. Step 1, remember probabilities add up to 1. Okay, and then step 2 is I can fill my branches. So here I've got 0.87. So this one becomes 1 take away 0.87, which is 0.13. So I've got that. The probability that he will pass the first test is 0.87. So that's done. If he passes the first test, the probability he will pass the second test is 0.94. So the first test, if he passes that, The next one is 0.94. And so now this one I can work out 1 take away 0.94 gives me 0.06. Now the next sentence, if he fails the first test, the probability he will pass the second test is 0.73. So if he fails, so we go down fail, and he passes is 0.73. So that goes here, 0.73. And now I can go on to this box here, which is 1 take away 0.73, which is 0. Use your calculator, but that's 27, 0.27. 1 take away 0.73. Not sure why I'm using my calculator, but I am. Okay, that's done. Let's look at the next question, part B. And if you need more time, press pause. Let's carry on with this one. So question 10, part B, it says, work out the probability that Shakir passes at least one of the tests. So before we go into anything, step one is we need to, this is an extra step, but it makes our work a lot easier later on, which is we work out all the outcomes. Step one is find all outcomes. And then step two is we match the outcomes with the sentence. Match outcomes with the question. And then step three is our calculation. So here we've got pass and pass. We've got pass and fail. We've got fail and pass. And then we've got fail and fail. So these are all our outcomes. We need to match the outcomes with the question. So the question says, work out the probability Shakir passes at least one of the tests. So is pass at least one? Yes, it is. Is pass fail at least one? Yes, it is. Is fail pass at least one? Yes, it is. Is fail at least one? No, it's not. So we're looking for these three. So now in terms of my calculation, it's just going to be 0.87 times 0.94. Uh, 0.87 times 0.06. And then 0.13 times by 0.73. And then I add them all together. Okay, and we use our calculator for that. So nice to have that calculator. 0.87 times 0.94 is 0.8178. 0.87 times 0.06 gives us 0.0522. 0.13 times by 0.73 gives us 0.0949. Then we add them all together. And we get 0.9649. That is our final answer. Now, there is another shortcut that you can use, and it's important to remember shortcuts, which is that, let me get another piece of paper just to kind of make it easier to show you. The shortcut is, since I know that all probabilities add up to 1, I can just work out this one part. So I can do 1 take away 0.13 times 0.27. And if I did that, that should give me the same answer, 0.9649. Okay, so that is something that if you spot these little tricks, that will save you a little bit more time in the exam, and so you have more time to spend on the harder questions. Okay, so question number 10 was worth 5 marks, so that's 5 marks banked. Let's add that to our tally. Oops. Yep, 5 marks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 32. We've banked grade 5 now. We're close to grade 6 now. 6 marks away from a grade 6. Okay, how are you doing as well? Feel free to post your answers in the chat, or if you have any comments, if anything is not clear. All right, question 10 is done. Question 11, guess what? This appeared in paper 1, so we are going to skip that. Question 12, this has also appeared in paper 1, so I am going to skip that for now. Question 13, I think it did. If I am mistaken, then you can message me in chat. But I think it happened in paper 1. I will double check. Paper 2 was not on paper 1. Sorry, question 11 was not on paper 1. All right, so question 14, off you go with that, while I also double check the other things that I've done. Question number 14, if you need more time, press pause. When you're ready, press play. But question 13 was in paper 1. I was correct. Question 14, y is proportional to x squared. Y equals to 3 when x equals to 0.5. X is inversely proportional to w. X equals to 2 when w equals to 0.2. Find the value of y when w equals to 2. So there's quite a lot going on. So first of all, this is proportional to, and it's x squared, so that's important. And then we have inverse proportion. And then we notice that the letters change to w. So step 1 is to use proportion. Y is proportional to x squared. So then I change this to an equation. And then step 2 is to find k, substitute and find k. Substitute to find k, the constant of proportionality. Once I do that, I can then have an equation. And the next step, step 3, is we have inverse proportion. So then we have inverse proportion. Okay, I'm going to stop there because then there is this w that is introduced. So I will first do these steps, then we can look at what happens next. Okay, so we have y equals kx squared, because that's what happens when we have proportionality. It becomes k, and then we've got x squared. So y equals to 3, k times x is 0.5 squared. And y is 3. Why did I write that down? 3 equals to k times 0.5 squared. So make k the subject. Opposite of multiplying is dividing. So all of that is divided. Okay. So k equals to, put that into my calculator. Where's my calculator gone? 3 over 0.5 squared, get 12. So I have y equals to k is 12x squared. Okay, now inverse proportion, similar to this. So inverse proportion is y is 1 over x is inversely proportional to w. So we've got that. So now we can change that to an equation. X is inversely proportional. X, not y. X equals to k over w. X is inversely proportional to w. X equals to 2 when w equals to that. So we can carry on substituting. W is 0.2. So now what's the opposite of dividing? We have to multiply both sides by 0.2. So 2 times 0.2 equals to k. So 0.4 equals to k. So now I replace that into my equation. X equals to 0.4 over w. So I've got my equation here and my equation here. So I've got my inverse proportion. I've got that. So now, you know, it's not telling me, but you can see there's an invitation here. There's a link here. So step 4 is I have to link both equations. Okay, so if I look for a link, where's my link between these two? X and X. Can you see that's my link? So then I can just replace X with this. So y equals 12 bracket all of this, 0.4 over w all squared. Okay, and now we can carry on with our last substitution. The last substitution. Okay, so notice what I've done. I've kind of stopped here with this line to show I need more thinking time. So find the value of y when w equals to 2. So y equals 12 bracket 0.4 all over 2 all squared. Y equals, and I just need to substitute that into my calculator now. 12 bracket 0.4 over 2 or divided by 2 close bracket squared gives me 0.48. And so that is my final answer. So you can see when a question like this in the exam, you do your steps. Obviously, you don't need to write this down. You think about these steps. Then you might come to a kind of stoppage, a block, if you like. This is what my line represented. There was too much going on for me. So I stopped there. I did my working out. Then I came back to my plan. Then I realized there was a link. I linked it, and then I found my substitution. All right, so I hope that makes sense. There's quite a lot going on there. That's, you can see it's worth 5 marks. So a good chunk of marks again. So that's another 5 marks to our tally. Well done. If you got it, I can see it from the messages in chat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 36, 37. We're 1 mark away from banking that grade 6. So well done in chat. Any other messages? I will check messages shortly. What else was I going to say? Yeah, so take your time in the exam. Question 15, you can see it's a histogram question, which came up in paper 1. So we're going to skip that. Let's look at question 16. It's a problem solving one. So we will carry on with that one. Okay, if you need more time, press pause. When you're ready, press play for the answer. Question 16. ABCD is a trapezium. We've got that here. AD is parallel to BC. AD and BC are parallel. That's why we have these arrows. Calculate the area of triangle BCD. Give your answer correct to 1 decimal place. So there's a lot going on here, even though there's a little bit of text. So first of all, step 1 is I'm going to simplify this. Simplify. Okay, that may help me decide what I want to do. So first of all, I've got this trapezium. Okay, so I've got that. I've got my angles here, 112, 7.9, 15.3. Okay, so I've got that. That helps me. And I can break this up, separate these as well. So I've got a triangle here, 112. This is 42. This is 7.9. And just by doing this simplification, I can spot that I've got this third angle here. So that's going to be 180 minus 112 minus 42. That gives me 26. Okay, and then I can simplify this one as well. I've got 15.3. And that's it. Is there anything else I have? So now let's go back to the question. I've simplified it. Calculate the area of triangle BCD. So BCD is this one here, BCD. So I don't have enough information here. What I do have is I have this side, which is shared with the other triangle. So now I can spot that I need to work out this one here. Let me call it A, because it's the first thing I need to do, A. And I've got an angle and a side, and then that length is linked here. So what is that? That is a sine rule. So step 2 is my sine rule. If I work out my side A, I have a side, an angle, and then I need another side angle here. So I've got a side and a side. I need this angle here, which would make it a side angle side. Now, if I look carefully, this is a trapezium, which means that I'm going to have a C rule here. So if this is 112, this one here, both of them added should make 180 degrees. So I can work out what that angle is. So that angle is going to be 180 minus 112, which gives me 68. So that's 68 degrees. So if all of this is 68, and if I know what that bit is, I can do 68 take away this, take away 26, 68 take away 26 to give me this angle here. So what is that? 68 take away 26, that gives me 42. So this angle is 42. So you can see this is now the area of a triangle. So step 3 is area of triangle, which is half AB sine C. Okay, so that is the key to this question. So by simplifying it, I could see I'm using the sine rule, and from using the sine rule, I then use the area of a triangle rule. So quite a lot going on there. Okay, so now the formula sheet does have the sine rule, which is a good thing. So the formula sheet here has the sine rule, so I can use that. Good thing I don't need to memorize this. So if I look at this, I am going to be pairing things. So if I look at this diagram here, my unknown A over opposite that is 112. This has become a bit messy, so I'm going to put it here. This is 26. So you can see this is a pair, and then that is a pair. I hope that's a bit more clear now. So A over sine 112 equals to 7.9, the sides are at the top, over the angle, which is sine 42. So A is going to be, I take this to the top, I multiply out 7.9 times sine 112 all over sine 42. So that gives me 7.9 times sine 112, close bracket, all over sine 42, close bracket, gives me 10.946. 10.946670. Now, don't clear your calculator. I'm going to carry on with this calculator. I'm going to continue with this answer because it links to this part here. So using the area of a triangle, area of a triangle is half AB sine C. So that is going to be half times what I've got here, 10.946 ... times by 15.3 times by my sine 42. Okay, so I'm going to multiply that by 15.3 times sine 42, close bracket, gives me 112 point something. Is that correct? Something's gone wrong here. By the looks of it, I did do this question before. It didn't give me this answer. Let me do this again. So 7.9 sine 112, close brackets, divided by sine 42, close bracket, 10.9466, which is fine. So then I'm going to be multiplying that by half, 0.5 times by sine 42, close bracket, times by 15.3. There we are, 56.034. All right, so just double check you're working out. I don't know how that happened. Maybe I misplaced a decimal point. Give your answer to one decimal place. So you got one decimal place there, 56.0. So when you simplify this question, it's quite, you can see it's quite straightforward, but then there's a lot of calculation there. So I hope that's okay. So that's question 16, which is worth 4 marks. Let's add that to our tally. That tally takes us to 1, 2, 3, 4 marks. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 41 marks. So we're now 8 marks from a grade 7. So well done if you've got that much. All right, and let's carry on. Our session is nearly an hour long. All right, if you are new to the channel, then remember one of the ways to use the channel, I'll just show you in the channel under live. All of the different live lessons are here. I've created a playlist for you. Under playlist, you've got predicted paper 2, all of the different things we've covered, as well as other questions. If you click on some of the videos within the description, there are also practice exam questions for you to do. So within the description, you've got other questions that are linked, which take you back. Also within the description, on that particular question, there are practice questions for you to do with answers there. They're from Maths Genie and other free resources. So do use them. I hope this will help you as part of your revision. And also thank you for joining us live now. All right, question 17. It is worth 2 marks for 17A. Off you go. Have a try with this question. I'll zoom into the question since we don't need to zoom out anymore. Okay, question 17a, press pause. If you need more time, then obviously, if you need more time, press pause and then play. Right, question 17a, show that the equation x cubed plus 2x take away 6 equals to 0 has a solution between x equals to 1 and 2. So step 1 is I'm going to put brackets around x, brackets around x. Step 2, I'm going to replace it with x equals to 1, substitute with x equals to 1, and then that will give me an answer with a sign. Okay, and step 3 is I substitute x equals to 2, substitute x equals to 2. It's going to give me an answer with a different sign. Okay, that is the key to this question. And that will tell me that it's a solution. Okay, so that is how I will know it's a solution. So I'm just going to go straight into kind of step 2. I'm going to replace it with 1 cubed plus 2 bracket 1 take away 6 equals. Let's put that into our calculator. 1 cubed plus 2 bracket 1 take away 6 gives us minus 3. So you can see here it's a negative. Then we do the same with 2 cubed plus 2 bracket 2 minus 6. And use the back buttons if you want to do that, your arrow buttons. Gives us 6. Okay, you can see there are change in signs. Change in signs. Therefore, it has a solution between x equals 1 and x equals to 2. Okay, hope you got that right. Let's go to the next question, question 17b. If you need more time, press pause. So question 17a, show that the equation can be rearranged to this. So I'm going to clearly try and rearrange this. So I'm going to have x cubed plus 2x. I'm going to take the minus 6 to the other side, which means this becomes plus 6. Now, if you look carefully here, it's got an x squared. So I need to factorize here. X squared plus 2. I can take an x out. That gives me 6. And then the last step is I can divide all of that. So this goes to the bottom if you like. So x equals 6 all over x squared plus 2. So what I'm doing is really dividing by x squared plus 2, both sides. Okay, and that is what I'm asked for. That's what the question is asking us for. All right, hope that's okay. Right, let's go to question 17, part C. And if you need more time, press pause. Question 17c, starting with x0 equals to 1.45, use the iteration formula xn plus 1 equals to 6 over x squared plus 2 twice to find an estimate for the solution of that. Give your answer correct 4 decimal places. So what we're really doing is we're just putting our answer back into this. So I'm going to write here x0 equals 1.45. So the next one, x1 equals 6 all over this 1.45 squared plus 2. So I'm going to have 6 all over 1.45 squared plus 2. That gives me this. I'm going to use the answer button in a second. I'm going to show you. So I'm just going to write this down just so that you can see everything. 1.4625228 dot 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 carries on. And so then for the next one, x2 is going to be 6 all over all of this one. 1.4625228 dot dot dot. All of that is squared plus 2. And that will give me x2. So let me start again. So I put 1.45 in. Okay, so that's my answer. So I'm going to put 6 over the answer button squared plus 2. And you can see that was my x1, 1.4628. And all I have to do is press the answer button again to give me the next one, which is 1.449634937. Now the question says, give your answer to 4 decimal places. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This is my decider. x2 equals to 1.4496. 4 decimal places there. So that's how I do this one. So I substitute these in. So I didn't do my steps actually. So step 1, substitute 1.45. Step 2 would have been substitute S1 into this. All right, I need to write my steps. I got carried away there. All right, I hope that's clear for you. That question is worth 6 marks. So a lot of marks there, but this question was made up of some easier questions here at the top. And then this middle question here was not as difficult. So remember, in the exam, you could do these easy questions straight away, bank them, and then come to some of these questions that take a bit of time. Now, iteration doesn't really take that long, but it can be quite confusing. Iteration is a question that is going to come up in paper 2 or paper 3, very likely to come up in paper 2 or paper 3. 6 marks banked. Let's add that to our tally. How many have we reached? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 46, 47. 2 marks away from our grade 7 now. So very close to our grade 7. All right, so we haven't done this question in the past in my live tutorials, which is on vectors. So I'm going to break this question down into 2 parts for you. It's worth 4 marks. So 4 marks. Have a go. Right, question number 18 is vectors. We're covering this for the first time, so I will kind of do it in 2 parts. Usually with vectors, there's always an easy mark. So this may look really, really complicated, but there is an easy mark. So we need to try and get that 1 mark. So if your target grade is like a grade 7, you could get that 1 mark. If your target grade is higher, then obviously you want to aim for getting all of the whole full marks here. So let's go through this. Question 18. We've got this diagram here. ABCD is a quadrilateral. ABCD. So we've got a quadrilateral here. E, F, G, and H are the midpoints of AB, BC, CD, and DA. E, F, G. So E, F, G, H, they are the middle of each of these. A to H equals A. So A to H equals A. So let me write that in there. This is A. A to E equals to B. A to B equals to A to E equals to B. So we've got that there, and I'm drawing my arrows in. Okay, really important you draw your arrows in because they matter. D to G, D to G is equal to C. All right, so I've got that. Prove using vectors that EFGH is a parallelogram. Okay, so step one is always I look to simplify previously, as you can see. So simplifying here, we've got information. This is a quadrilateral four-sided shape, and I'm looking for a parallelogram, which is EFGH, EFGH. Something like this, EFGH. It's just a sketch. Now, what does that a parallelogram mean? We've got parallel sides, so two parallel sides. So I need to somehow show that I've got these parallel sides. So I've simplified it. So step one, simplified. Step two is to kind of look for one of these easy marks. I need to show EH or find EH. Okay, once I find EH, then I can find FG. Okay, and then the next step will be find HG and EH. Okay, so that is what I'm looking to do. All right, so let's carry on with this information. So I have got AH equals to this. So because H is the midpoint, this is also A. Okay, and then G is the midpoint, so this is also C. And this E is the midpoint, so this is also B. So is that okay? Hope that's okay. So I've got that information. So I can now look to finding one of these, E to H. So let me find EH. EH is, I'm going from E to H, so I have to follow the path. E to A to H. E to A plus A to H. That's my path. Now, I'm not following the arrow, I'm going in reverse. So this is minus B, and then I'm following A plus A. Now, in an exam, that is worth 1 mark. That's your easy mark, okay? So that's, you've banked it, you can move on now. If you want to gain those full marks, we want to now, we've shown this. Now, it's saying it's a parallelogram, so E to H must be the same as F to G. So let's look at F and let's look at G. We want to see what these two are. So to go from F to G, we have a slight problem. The problem is we don't have this distance. So we need to work out this distance. So the other way to look at it, I've got B to C. I can work out what B to C is. If I can work out what B to C is, I can work out what F to C is. And so then I can go from F to C, C to G. So let me first of all write my plan down, which is F to G. F to G equals from, it's half of B to C. Or if you like, so because of, I'll come back to this because of that problem. So let's do B to C first. So B to C. Now there's no direct path here. There's nothing there. So I have to follow these arrows. That's what vectors are. To go in reverse, in kind of follow the arrows or in reverse order of the arrows. So this is B to A. Then I've got A to D. And then I've got D to C. So B to A is B and a B, so that's minus 2B. A to D is A and an A, which is 2A, plus 2A. D to C is C and C, so that's plus 2C. So B, C is that. So F to G, so F is the midpoint of BC, which means I need half of BC. Okay, so I've got that now. Then I've got C to G. Okay, so now I can replace this information. F to G equals half of all of this minus 2B plus 2A plus 2C. And C to G is going backwards, so it's minus C. Half of minus B is just minus, half of minus 2B is just minus B. Half of 2A is just A plus A. Half of 2C is just C minus C. You can see the C's are going to cancel out, so that is minus B plus A. So I've worked out what FG is. FG equals to minus B plus A. All right, so I've got that. Now I need to show what EH is, because I'm still looking for that parallel diagram. So let's write this here. E to H equals E to A and then A to H. E to A is minus B. A to H is A, which is what we already did previously. All right, so now I've got that. Have I lost track? So find EH, which we've done, FG, which we've done. So they're parallel. So why did I just do that? I just repeated myself. So you can see you can lose track here. So EH and FG, what do you notice about them? They're equal. So that's fine. So this is now one pair of parallel sides. So EH and FG are equal. So I've done that. Now I need to look at my other side, EF and HG. So E to F, I'm going to go this way. So E to F, if you think about it, it's F is in the middle of BC, so it's half of BC. And then I've got this extra bit, so I can remove this. So if I'm going from B to C minus that bit, that's one way. Or the other way could be I'm going this, and then that. So E to A to D, A to C, and then that little bit, half BAC. So you could do it two ways. So the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to say E to F equals actually, let's just go through the E to B and then half of BC. I don't know why I didn't think of that before. Seeing that now, E to B plus B to F, which is half BC. So E to B is just B plus half of BC. We did that earlier, but let's just put everything in there. Half BC is minus 2B plus 2A plus 2C. Half of 2B, so this is minus B. Half of 2A is just A plus A. Half of 2C is just C. So the B's cancel. That gives us A plus C. EF equals to that. So I've got EF. Now I need to show H to G. H to G is just H to D and then H to D to G. H to D is A, D to G, oops, H to D is A, D to G is C. So you can see A plus C, they're the same. So we can write that as a sentence. HG is equal to EF. So we've proved both of them, so let's put them all in one place. So EH and FG are equal, HG and EF are equal. So we've got two pairs of parallel sides. Okay, quite long question there. And also we've done vectors for the first time. So just to summarize the steps, really, simplify where you can and get that 1 mark question. If your target grade is a 4, 5, 6, get that 1 mark. And then if you're aiming for the higher grades, we go for all of that. So it's quite a lot of work required for this, and it's being very, very careful with our letters as well, our mapping. So 4 marks. All right, so something like this, I personally would be leaving till the end of the paper. 1, 2, 3, 4 marks. And then you'll see some of the other questions may actually be easier. So we've banked 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 51 marks. So we're over our grade 7 and we are on our grade 8. So if you are still with us, well done. All right, so this can be, if you've, this will come up in paper 2 or paper 3. Just needs that little bit of practice. Once you do it, you'll realize you're just kind of playing around with fractions, really. The maths is just the fractions. It's this mapping that's where the challenge is. Well, let's move on to question 19. We haven't done that. Question 19, look at this. Much, much, much simpler. All right, off you go with question 19. I'll give you a few moments. Right, question 19a, press pause if you need more time and play when you're ready for the answer. So step 1 is I'm going to find g of minus 3. And then once I find out, my step 2 is going to be g of whatever my answer to part 1, step 1 is. So let's do that. So f of minus 3 equals to that, which is 2 brackets minus 3 bracket plus 3 all squared. Put that into our calculator. Bracket 2 bracket minus 3 close bracket plus 3 close bracket squared. That gives us 9. And now step 2 is g of 9. So g of x is that, so it becomes 2 bracket 9 minus 1. And you can even do that in your head. 2 times 9 is 18, take away 1 is 17. So that's worth 2 marks. And you can see literally this took us a few moments to do compared to question 18, which took a huge amount of time. So you can see sometimes easier questions are there. So don't get bogged down. Always remember, go through the whole paper and then come back to the hard ones. Okay, question 19b, g minus 1x. And if you need more time, remember, press pause. When you're ready, press play for the answer. So step 1 is I am going to swap the g minus 1 to y, and then I'm gonna swap the y's and x's, swap y's and x's. Okay, why we do that, it will make sense shortly. And then step 2 is BIDMAS in reverse. Okay, and that's it. That should be it. So step 1, so we've got g of x. Let me just write out the question. G of x equals to 2x minus 1. So I'm going to change the g to a y equals 2x minus 1. And now I'm going to swap the y's and the x's. X equals to 2y minus 1. You don't have to do this, but just doing it makes it easier. Okay, so I've done that. Now it's BIDMAS in reverse. So if you think about this, you're starting with y. How does it become 2y and then 2y minus 1? You are multiplying it by 2 and subtracting by 1. So plus 1 on both sides. X plus 1 equals to 2y. And then you're dividing by 2. X plus 1 all over 2 equals to y. And then the final step is we put our g minus 1 back in. So g minus 1x equals x plus 1 all over 2. Nice 2 marks there. So that's 4 marks for question number 19. We'll add that to our tally. 1, 2, 3, 4 marks. Well done in chat. I can see some answers. We've got 20, 45, 55 marks. So we've got 55 marks. We are 5, 10, 15, 20, 40, 55. Yeah, we're close to our grade 8. Right, next question. Question 20. Okay, this one looks hard, but is quite easy. If your target grade is 4, 5, 6, there is a method mark there. So look at banking that easy mark. This question is worth 4 marks. I'll give you a few moments. Off you go. If you need more time, press pause. When you're ready, press play. So let's look at this question. Question 20. Write 14 over 3x, take away 20 plus all of that in the form this. So we can see within this, we have got division. So we've got quite a few things here. So step 1 is probably I am going to keep, change and flip. So I've got that. Step 2, after I've done that, in fact, let's do it because there's quite a lot going on here. So 14, 3x take away 21 plus bracket x plus 4. That's my keep. Change, and then this flips. So it becomes 2x plus 3 all over 2x squared minus 6x minus 56. Okay, so I've got that there. So the next thing is I can see I'm going to be factorizing. So I need to factorize a quadratic. Factorize, it's a hard quadratic, harder quadratic. Now there is a trick I've got. Because I've got x plus 4, that will help me realize that may be in my answer, or 2x plus 3 will be in my answer. So I've got these two possibilities, so I need to look out for that. After I factorize my quadratic, I am going to kind of look to get it into this form. So step 3 is rearrange or cancel to get to the form, okay, of this form. All right, so let's factorize this. So I'm going to use the shortcut, which is I am going to, because this 2x squared is a prime number, I'm going to have 2x here, and I'm going to have x here. I'm going to look at 56. What numbers make 56? So 1 times 56. 2 times 25, 26, 27, 28. 3, does 3 go in there? 3 doesn't go in. 4 does go in. 4 times 14. And this is a calculator paper. You can just do 56 divided by 3. You can see it doesn't work. 56 divided by 4, 14. 56 divided by 5 doesn't work. Not sure why I did that. 56 divided by 6 gives us, 56 divided by 6 gives us, doesn't give us anything. 56 divided by 7 gives us 8. So you've got 8 times 7. And anything else? 9. 56 divided by 9 doesn't go in. 10 doesn't, and we're practically near the end. So we've got that. All right, so the good thing is, if you noticed the earlier thing, we are looking for a 3. Well, there's no 3's here, and we've got a 4 there. So this must work. This pair must work. So I need to see where the 4 goes. Well, because I've got x plus 4, this must be x plus 4. And the other one must be x plus 14. But before I put that there, I'm just going to put that and then just expand the brackets just to see it works. 2x squared plus 8x plus 14x. What am I doing? I've got a plus and minus here. So which one needs to be, the bigger number needs to be negative. So the bigger number is 14. So let's make that minus 14. So 14 minus 14x, and then plus minus 56. And you can see 14 take away, or 8 take away 14 is minus 6x. So it does match. So that's the trick. So if you use the trick, you just save a bit of time. So hope that's clear. So let's rewrite all of that. 2x plus 3 all over 2x minus 14x plus 4. So this cancels with that. So now I can keep simplifying. 14 over 3x minus 12 plus 2x plus 3 all over 2x minus 14. Okay, so now I've got that. Can I simplify any more? I can see I've got a factorizing here at the bottom, so I can factorize the denominators. So 3x minus 7, 2x plus 3. 2 goes into both of these, so you got x minus 7. And you can spot I've got x minus 7, x minus 7. So I'm looking for the LCM of 2 and 3, which is 6. So therefore I need to multiply this by 2, multiply this one by 3. So everything here is multiplied by 2. So 14 times 2 is 28. 2 times 3 gives me 6. X minus 7 plus 2x times 3 is 6x. 3 times 3 is 9. All over 2 times 3 is 6. X minus 7. So now you can see that the denominators are the same, so I can just add them together. So you've got 6x plus 9 plus the 28. Put the numerators together. Denominators is 6x minus 7. Simplify this. This is 6x. 9 plus 28 is 2937. 6, and expand this bracket. 6x minus 6 times 7 is 42. And if I look at my question, AXC plus B plus CX plus D. So you can see this matches what I've got. And so that's my final answer. So there was quite, within these steps, there's factorizing and so on. So there is quite a lot going on. But what you can do is bank these 1-mark questions, spotting that we've got a quadratic. By factorizing this quadratic, then you can get that 1 mark. Okay, so even though it's question 20, end of the paper, you can still bank that mark at the end. So let's add those 4 marks. Question 20 was 4 marks. Question 20, let's add that to our tally. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 59 marks. We've banked our grade 8, 59. We are 9 marks away from a grade 9. Let's look at question 21. Question 21 is Venn diagrams, which came up in paper 1. So we're not going to do that. And that is the end of our November 2023 paper 2. I will do another live session. Let's have a little break and keep subscribe to the channel. Maybe 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock I'll do another session. So join me. If you're subscribed, then you will obviously get the live notification and you can join the lesson. And yep, I'll do another session definitely. If I can't do it within the next 2-3 hours, a 6 o'clock session as well. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you haven't liked the video, make sure you do that. See you soon, everybody. Assalamu alaikum. Bye-bye. Take care.